This is David Selig, conservative commentator, pro-business advocate. His website's truetaxhelp.com. Hey, David.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me. And by the way, it was nice seeing you in D.C. over the weekend.
It was very nice to see you and have you on our program. So, David, and you're as impressive in person as you are on television and on the radio.
Thank you.
The city in which you live, New York City, now has, arguably for the first time in 30 years, a genuine progressive as a mayor. And this has everybody all a Twitter. It seems like, there was a time when New York City was doing really well, and, I'm talking about in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s.
Oh, stop right there, Tom.
Okay.
70s was a very dark time. I mean, admittedly, I was only a teenager then, but the 70s in New York City was bad. I remember mountains of garbage in the streets.
That was the sanitation workers strike.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I started spending a lot of time in New York City in '74. I think was probably the year that I first started, doing business in New York City and going to New York a lot. And it's been up and down. But so, what's your take on Bill de Blasio? He says he's going to raise taxes on billionaires by just a little tiny bit to pay for universal kindergarten. What's wrong with that?
Well, let's see if he does it. I know a lot of people are very happy. Bill de Blasio swept into office, landslide victory. He's promising a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I wonder if he's just another politician. We'll see if he comes through with it. It's very enticing to get something for nothing, and that's what he seems to have run on. He said, if we would just take some more money from the rich and give it to the poor, sort of like Robin Hood. I don't understand why they stopped there. Shouldn't somebody come out and just say, why don't we steal everything from the rich and give it all to the poor?
Well, you stop there because it's the reasonable thing to do, David. It's the American way. We did that, through the years that you were a young child, and we did that before, in your father's generation. That's what we did.
How'd that work out, by the way?
I think it worked out quite well.
No, because these individuals, when they get something for nothing, fritter it away very easily. They have no skin in the game, as it were, Tom. Every dollar you have, you worked very hard for. And when you're not in front of the camera, you're writing books that are published. People buy them, sweat of the brow, the whole bit. But if someone was just sending you those checks, notwithstanding those big royalty checks you get, you probably wouldn't value it. And that, unfortunately, is the shortcoming with easy
David,
money.
I've been on unemployment insurance. In fact, I started my first business when I was on unemployment insurance, which I think is technically against the law.
Clear me, Tom.
Say what?
I said we were breaking up for a moment.
Okay. I've been on unemployment insurance. I'm glad that social safety net was there. When I was a kid and my dad was working as a Rexer and World Book door-to-door salesman, we had to go to the cheese store, we called it, and get the surplus cheese. I mean, I've been
Tom, because you went there and you were induced by standing out there to get off your lazy rear end and get a job. Unfortunately, now we've concealed this. You have people sitting back on their fat rear ends, getting fat checks from the federal government, a.k.a. the taxpayer, and there's no degree of motivation and or shame.
I think people who are trying to make it, David, on food stamps are really... How can you feed yourself on $1.40 a meal?
No, I can't, Tom. You've seen me. I mean, I have a battle with the bulge as it is.
But that's my point. I mean, I disagree with your characterization, but
okay.
We'll see how it shakes out. On that, I think we will agree. David Selig, thanks for dropping by, David.
Hey, thanks, Tom. See you soon.
Good talking with you. David Selig, truetaxhelp.com is his website. We'll be right back.